Hey, Uncle Paul. Nah, I can't. Anyway, so you had mentioned how it'd be kind of fun to have a game kind of all set up, so we could kind of go over it, and I agreed with you. I thought it'd be pretty cool. I wish you were closer so we could have a little bit more fun with it, but I can just kind of show you what I thought from the perspective of my side, and you know, you can kind of tell me if this helps you at all or whatnot. In this point in the game, really we were pretty close to even. You were 2 pawns up on me, but we both had, I had 2 of your bishop, or you had 2 of my bishops. I had a knight and a bishop on your end. You've got this mean thing going right here where I'm blocked here. You know, you've got your queen keeping my knight from being able to do anything. It's kind of a mess. The only thing I've got going for me is this knight down here, which I just put you in check and you moved. So there wasn't a whole lot there for me to do. I can't really go anywhere to try to get you into anything. It was quite the mess on my part. I was pretty messed up. So, and sorry, I gotta go back here. I've got the game right here and I'm just backtracking through where we were. Okay, so at this point right here it was my move, and I moved pawn from f7 to f6, and you were, you know, here with your knight. I'm attacking. I think you made a really good move in moving knight from g5 to e6, which put my queen into a mess there. I've got a mover or loser. You know, you're protecting your pawn here, which caused a big problem for me. I couldn't move really anywhere across the board to try to get away and still try to attack. I think this is where I pretty much really lost the game, in moving queen c7 to e7. Trying to attack the knight for whatever purpose. I don't know what I was thinking. I knew that you would do your next move, and I still moved right there. So I don't know. It didn't really make any sense to me. What I should have done was, in my mind, was move from c7 to g7, but at that point the knight would have taken him. Anyway, so I was kind of in a bind. You did a good job there. You really forced all my pieces down here. Completely messed me up. From this point right here, and this is where, I mean, you could go either way. You chose to attack the queen, and that's fine, taking the pawn. So you went from pawn c5 to pawn c6, or d6, putting the queen in jeopardy once again, also protected by the knight. Pretty good move. So I moved the only place I can go, which is queen from e7 to queen f7. Then you did the right thing there by taking the rook with your knight. So you've got e6 to f8, putting you up another pawn and a rook. Obviously I'm going to do the only thing I can do at this point. And f7 to f8 and remove the knight. Now, I mean, you could have done a couple different things here. I don't know. I think I would have swapped queens at this point, just because I saw the game going a little bit differently, but you opted to come here. h6 to g6. From there I moved up to black. What I was trying to do at this point was basically get rid of your queen anyway. I was trying to get, and I was hoping what you would do was move her out of the way. So I moved f8 to f7, trying to get her to be gone away from me so that I could move out and fill like anything. From there you moved h4 to h5, protecting your queen. And then I made another stupid move. I should have just at this point just taken the queen, and eventually I think I still would have lost the game, but Anyway, so I moved rook from A8 to F8. Don't really know what I was trying to do there. Kind of messed up. You made a really another good move by moving your pawn from D6 to D7. And then in an effort to try to do something, and I don't know what, I moved my knight that was, you know, up here endangering nobody or anything, from C2 to B4. At that point, you did the right thing again. D7 to D8, swapping out with a queen. And the only thing I can obviously do here is remove the queen, so F8 to D8. And then obviously you D1 to D8, check. So I mean, and this is also, I'm just kind of going through this real quick, and hopefully I don't bore you to death with this. And this is, you already know all this stuff right here. I'm going to get to the part where I would have finished it out quite a bit quicker. I think I saw it, and I just saw it before you did, and I think you got a little confused with your pawn on H5. But anyway, from this point, I'm trying to obviously block and not lose everything that I have available. So I move from H7 to F8, protected by the queen. Which point you finally move in at G6 to G7, remove the queen. I do the only thing I can at that point. H8 to G7, remove your queen. Now you're sitting, I think, in a really good position. Moving that pawn down was perfect. H5, H6, check. Now I should have moved up and out at this point, but I don't know really what I was thinking. So we've got G7 to H7. Hiding myself back there. Oh, I remember. I was trying to figure out how I could save my knight. There was just no way to do it. So D8 to F8, I remove my knight, and I'm just about toast. Moving my knight again because I was trying to get it closer, so I moved B4 to C6, and so you hit taking off. I love you, Janae. Bye, sweetheart. Give me a kiss before you go.
Love you.
Say bye to Uncle Paul.
Bye, Paul.
So moving the knight down, I was trying to get him into place somewhere to do anything, but it just wasn't going to work. So you H1 to H5. Let's see. I move my knight from C6 to E5, protected by the pawn that is absolutely not protected. So it didn't really do me any good. I think you're doing a good job here for trapping me. There's like really nowhere for me to go, obviously, in any way, shape, or form. Now I should have moved my king from H7 to G8 and gotten up and attacked your rook above to try to get him out of my way and to protect my pawn. But that didn't happen. And so once you moved your bishop down from C4 to E6, I think I was trying to attack your rook. So I moved from E5 to G6. Shh, you have to be quiet. Be quiet. To G6. And then you obviously went from F8 to F6, removing my pawn. At this point, I'm completely hosed. I mean, you got it all taken care of. So at this point, I'm just trying to do whatever I can to try to hopefully see if I can get you to put me in stalemate, even though it's not possible because I've still got my knight. So I move my one rook here, B7 to B5. And I don't know if that kind of threw you off a little bit. I think it did. You should have just ignored it, but you moved E4 to e5, protecting your rook, which I think was a really good move. And then I did a5 to a4, at which point you decided to come down and attack these guys. And this is where I think you kind of missed the boat a little bit. What I would have done, so you moved e6 to d7 to attack the pawn. And at this point, I've got a knight right here who's just sitting there waiting to be had. There's nothing I can do about it. He's completely stuck. If you were to move, instead of down to d7, if you were to move up to f5, effectively keeping my knight from being able to move in any way, shape, or form. At this point, all I can do is move away. So you had the opportunity right here. The only thing I could have done at this point was move my king, down to g8 or h8. Check there, so I can't do that. You're protecting this pawn here. Overall, that's just kind of where we were at.
Mama.
Shh, please, Strider. So what we've got here is, and this is, I'm going to do, basically this is what I'm going to, stop. So you move down to d7 down here, and then I started moving b5 to b4. You moved your rook or your bishop from d7 up to a4. Anyway, and then kind of got lost right there. So anyway, so I'm going to go through real quick and just kind of what I would have done had I been in your same position. So instead of moving down